Today is November 3rd, 2017, and I'm going to do a technical overview and a Gann cycle count on Bitcoin, as I've been getting requests from quite a few of you asking where this may head in the near future. So here we are on the daily time count. Okay, there's a few things of interest to me. First of all, if we apply an Elliot wave count, a 5-wave count, it's very clear that from July of this year, we had our first wave up, then we had a corrective wave down, and currently from September till now we're in a wave 3. That's quite easy to see, especially those of you that study Elliot wave. And as we know, principles of Elliot wave, the third wave, the impulse wave, will always be the longest. So as we can see from the first, the corrective, the third is definitely the longest. The question is, has the third wave terminated, and are we going to get a corrective fourth wave pullback before we see a final wave 5 higher? So this is, for me, this is where I find, if you understand Gann's time count method and his geometric squaring of time is squared by price, this is where it connects in very accurately, and it makes the predictive move on time cycle counts in the near future a lot easier to read. So I'd like to zoom in and focus on this angle here, which is a 45 angle. Now, first of all, we can see yesterday's price move. The price on the candle hit the top of this angle and was rejected. I'll explain why in a minute, why that was rejected and why it's going to self-correct and move into a wave 4. Here we have a cycle high pivot of a 53 count, so from low to high. There's very important symmetry playing out within the time cycles. And what I mean by that is, from this high to that high equals 53 as well. Now, as we know, those of you who use Gann's method, 53 on the square of 9 is a very important cardinal crossing point. In other words, what it is it's a turning point. It doesn't mean that the trend is over. It means, for the time being, it's going to reverse trend until it hits another cycle point. So we know 53 is a cycle point, and it should terminate this current wave 3, which I'm expecting. Now, what we're going to get, which will start the corrective wave 4 lower, will be a cycle low point of a 12. So it's a 12 count. So what I'm expecting is a movement back towards this important angle. And if we look upon the base point of our wave 3, we have another 45 angle, and where I've highlighted with this ellipse, we have an intersection point. I'm predicting that on the cycle low 12-point count, that the price is going to retrace back and meet up in this intersection point, which would give a price of somewhere around 6,485, and that will complete the corrective wave 4 in our Elliot wave. And then upon that, we shall see the final wave 5 higher. If I just move the chart, pull that chart down there, we're going to get a final wave 5 higher with a target ultimately of 10,000, give or take a few hundred points either side of that. And our grand cycle count on the 144 of Gann square of 9 gives us a date of, give or take a few days, of around December 31st of this year. And then after that, once it hits that cycle point, I think then we'll see a meaningful ABC down to maybe test the high of wave 3. So my call for Bitcoin is this is still very, very bullish. And those of you that have asked me, is it still worth buying into it? Upon my analysis of this, I would wait. I would wait for that 6,500 area on towards the end of November, around the 21st of November, so you can mark that in as a date, as a good entry point in anticipation that we're going to get a final wave 5 higher, and you could ride that up to easily 10,000. So to those out there that's saying this is a bubble, clearly they're not. Regardless of if you're a believer in Bitcoin or not, for me, as you guys know, yeah, I'm a trader. I work off time cycle counts, patterns and waves, and this is very easily to see that this is going a lot higher before it has a meaningful pullback. So if you're looking to trade this or to get into this, I'd look at that area towards November 21st of around 6,500 for a good entry point to ride up to 10,000. That's my call for Bitcoin.